I wanted just to thank everybody, and also our colleague Tom Coulter regrets that he couldn't be here to join us. As a former colleague of yours, he very much appreciates all the work you do. But I want to let you all know, last session we passed something called the Municipal Modernization Act that kind of did a lot of things to help make municipal government run a little more smoothly, take some of the roadblocks and hurdles, and try to make things easier for our municipal partners. And really the key person behind that, and the governor gets credit and the legislature passed it obviously, but is our very own lieutenant governor who did all the behind the scenes work, and we want to just acknowledge that and give her credit for that. We appreciate all the work you did. I know Senator O'Connor can say a few words as well, but you've been a great partner for municipalities. We appreciate it. This is our third community compact in my district, so we're glad to do the whole district, and we appreciate everything you do and coming down to visit us here in Duxbury. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pat, did you want to?
Yeah, thank you, Representative Cutler, and thank you to the Board of Selectmen, to the town, Lieutenant Governor Polito. This is just another amazing step forward in what has become quite a system with the community compacts that the Lieutenant Governor has spearheaded over the past few years. And what we've been able to do in some of the towns that, I believe this is the last town of the 8 towns that I represent that are going to sign the compact today, what we've been able to do is this adds a point structure to grants. And in working in the State House for 9 years before becoming the senator, and now being the senator for 17 months, I've never seen the amount of money that's going out on Beacon Hill into our cities and towns as the amount of money that's going under the Baker-Polito administration. They, coming from municipal government, know exactly that where the rubber meets the road, where the dollar's best spent is right here in your own community, whether it be a project on a road, whether it be a new school, a new library, additional funding for Chapter 70 money and Chapter 90 money. That's where the real emphasis is on spending, and I don't think that the state has ever had a better partner in the municipalities than we do with the Baker-Polito administration. And coming from a 12-year municipally elected official in Weymouth, I can attest to that this is a real good partnership that we have here in Duxbury with this administration, and this compact really just solidifies that even more and makes it an even greater compromise. So I thank you, Lieutenant Governor Polito, for being here today.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, do you want
I'll
Rene?
chime in.
Yes.
I'm Rene Reed. I'm the town manager here in Duxbury, and I wanted to thank everybody for coming. It's great to have the Lieutenant Governor here. It's good to have you here, Josh. Good to have you here, Senator O'Connor. It's terrific. It's funny you noted that Senator O'Connor, this is the 8th and last town that's signed on to this. I'm glad you saved the best for last. So,
Absolutely.
thank you. What this represents to us as a community here in Duxbury is this is actually a continuation of a number of existing practices that we put in place many years ago that are going to help us further investigate ways to make the community even stronger. We're looking at zoning and land acquisition issues. We're reviewing financial management structures to make sure that the structures and the reporting relationships of our finance departments support increased accountability and a cohesive financial team process. We're also developing contingency plans within the community to look to more efficiently manage unforeseen events. So this is a terrific opportunity for the town of Duxbury, and we're grateful for your assistance.
Thank you very much.
Selectmen want to chime in?
Well, I think Rainey's said it all, and we are blessed in this town with a phenomenal staff, from the town manager down to the department heads, some of whom are here, that make our life very easy. And so we look forward to some of the bennies that will come from the signing of the compact. Sean?
Yeah, I think I echo what Ted said. We have a phenomenal administration within the community, backed by a staff that's a well-tuned team at this particular point in time, and do very, very well. But we can always do better, and particularly if we can bring the state in as a partner in this, it's going to be to the community's benefit. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much. What a warm welcome here in Duxbury. It's an honor to be here with all of you. I understand that this is not the usual night that you hold your meeting, so I appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedules to be here tonight to mark this moment for the community and for our administration. To my colleagues in the state legislature, First Representative, thank you for your kind words, and I know that you also have municipal experience as a former selectman and planning board member, and that stays with you when you continue your public service I know how committed and dedicated you are, and it's a pleasure to work with you here for the benefit of Duxbury. And the same for the senator, your municipal experience, it shows. And when you referenced the municipal modernization bill, you can just imagine the level of detail there. And, it's not one of those pieces of legislation that you read about daily on the front page, but it was really important that we were able to get it done. And it basically started with a survey that our administration put out to municipal officials across the state. And we asked one simple question: how can our state government, how can our administration better serve the cities and towns of this Commonwealth? And to that survey question, we received over 1,300 ideas. So there were lots of ways to modernize and update and peel back some of the red tape and layers of bureaucracy that were making it more difficult for municipal officials to do their job. So we want to thank our partners in the legislature for taking a bill, I mean, it was pretty hefty, which is complicated and long and detail-focused, and could very easily, slip onto the back burner as just too difficult to get to, and it didn't. And the reason why it didn't get lost on the back burner is because of people like the representative and the senator who understood the importance of this and reminded leadership and advocated for it and pushed hard and made it a priority. And that's why we're able to get it done. So then it gives to department heads and municipal employees across the state more tools to work with. That means more efficiencies, more technology, more opportunities to just drive service in a better way, more efficient way, and raise the quality of service in your community. So I want to thank the public officials here, the municipal officials, and your counterparts across our state for choosing to serve in the communities at the local level. Your work is invaluable, not only to the community, but to the workforce across our state that is helping to knit together a stronger Massachusetts through the communities of our Commonwealth. I also just want to acknowledge, being a former selectman, and Charlie as well, that experience has come with us to our work in the executive office. And we wanted to signal right from the beginning, that's why this compact program was the result of Governor Baker's very first executive order, to say that we want to strengthen the relationship between cities and towns and state government, and we're not going to do it from Beacon Hill telling the cities and towns what to do, but instead the other way around. What is it that the community wants to work on and focus on, and how can the state be a reliable partner in that process, and how can we provide the funding to make sure that the best practice embeds into local government? So this is exactly the opposite of an unfunded mandate, because we know that those are two words that we don't agree with on the local level. They need to be suggestions, best practices. There's always better and ways of approaching delivery of service. There's always more that a community or government at our level can work on to do things better. And so the best practices program spreads across 10 different subject areas, and we encourage the communities to decide what they want to work on, which is exactly what you've done here. I've learned here in Duxbury, you have incredible stewardship for open space. This is a residential community. This is why families and people live here, because they enjoy the bay, they enjoy the beach. You have excellent schools, but you need to preserve that. That's very much a part of the character of this community. So you have to protect that. And while you've been able to, I think, acquire over 2,000 acres of open space land, there's more opportunity. And so to update your open space plan to find those opportunities is very valuable for this community. Using more technology, strengthening financial management policies, all of that will just help Duxbury do even more and better than you already are doing. So I want to thank you for joining. You are the 310th community in the Commonwealth to sign into the Best Practices Community Compact Program. So that tells you that there is something for every community, whether urban, suburban, rural, and no matter where situated in the Commonwealth, communities are working on ways to drive better service. So thank you for joining and being a part of it. And this is a compact, which means the state has to live up to its end of the bargain as well. And that's why, as the senator and representative stated, making sure that local aid is always funded. In fact, we promise to increase local aid to cities and towns by the same percentage growth of state revenues. And we've been able to do that in all of our budgets, working with our colleagues in the legislature. Chapter 90, releasing that early on so you can fix your roads and your sidewalks. Chapter 70, schools, obviously a major priority here in Duxbury. Making sure that we're continuing to fund that at the highest levels is really important. And then finally, I just want to touch on something I was able to talk to Sean about. I asked if you were a longtime resident of this community. And you said, not only long time, I'm lifelong. And then I asked, well, do you have children who live here? And he says, 3 of our five children live here in Duxbury. And do you have grandchildren? Yes, I have grandchildren that live here. But that is truly how you measure, I think, success in a community, is when people stay here. And then their children stay here, and perhaps the next generation as well, laying their own roots, beginning their own careers, finding ways to give back as volunteers on boards like this. So you have something very healthy and good going on here in Duxbury, and the compact is just a way to reinforce that and support it and allow you to continue doing what's working so well here. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this, the success story here in Duxbury on the South Shore. And it also allows you to serve as either inspiration or as an example to other communities who are looking perhaps to accumulate more acreage of open space. You know, how does Duxbury do it? Maybe they can learn from your approaches and bring that kind of attention to open space preservation in their community. So there's a learning opportunity too for other communities to emulate the good things that are happening in other places in our Commonwealth. And finally, we have a great state. We are known as the #1 state overall in the country, and it needs to feel that way from wherever people live in this Commonwealth. But it also takes a collective team of people to work hard every single day, thinking about this Commonwealth, supporting it, making good decisions so that we continue to be that #1 place that we all so love. So thank you very much, and
Appreciate it.
continue to do a good job.
If I may, I had one thing I wanted to add. I wanted to thank our planning director, Valerie Massard, who was sort of our prime mover on this. I lateraled the ball to her, and she ran with it and scored a big, huge touchdown. So I wanted to thank you, Val.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Val.
much.
Appreciate
it. Okay.
You need a champion there, so thank you for championing the compact here. That's great. Okay, we ready to sign?
Absolutely.
All right.
Good signature.
Tell she's done this once or twice.
Sean, here you go.
I need to get a little read hers.
That's right. the box.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess it's the 310th town to sign on. We're not early adopters, but
You're adopters.
That's pretty.
We endeavor to get to all 351.
there you go. We'll get the rest of them.
We will. So thank you all very much, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Do you guys have an actual meeting now?
No.
Oh,
No.
Really?